How do regulators benefit from unlocking regulation?
Well, I think the benefits to regulators are fairly realizable these days. So when a regulator traditionally is drafting rules, at the moment, they have to draft really based on the flat PDFs that are available to them, usually on their website. And this can lead to unintended consequences when it comes to drafting. It's a lot of time and effort that the legal people within the regulator have to spend on drafting those rules and tweaking them and putting them through. So if you can have more of a content management system in place with a proper sort of interface for the drafters to see the rules in context and make those drafting changes in real time, this is going to be a huge benefit in terms of having more accurate rules and giving better effect to the policy that they've been charged with giving effect to.
And that's going to lead to greater compliance with regulation, presumably.
Well, then on the other side, yes, the benefit for the regulator is that the rules are easier to find and they're easier to understand, hopefully, so that the ability for the firm or the company involved in that industry can much more easily comply with the regulations. Yeah.
So what's the most important thing that a regulator needs to do to unlock their regulation?
Well, they need to take down the PDFs from their websites is really what they need to do. They need to convert those PDFs into proper HTML web pages. This would be an okay outcome, but they can also go a little bit further. So if behind the scenes they have a much better content management system and a way of housing those rule books in one place, they can then start adding in additional data onto those rules themselves. They can add metadata, they can add taxonomy terms, and they could even start publishing rules with much more of an interface, an API interface, or rules as code. You could go all the way to smart contracts if you really wanted to.
So making that regulation machine readable.
Exactly, machine readable. So you have the firm's bot talking to the regulator's bot, and between them they decide what the firm can or can't do.
So these days the users of regulation, they're not just going to be people, they're going to be machines and systems as well.
Yeah, so the people in the firm want to do their job, right? They want to sell financial products, they want to conduct their business compliantly. They want the guardrails in place so that they can do that without worrying about it. And having that automation and digitization behind the scenes supports them in doing that.
And what about artificial intelligence? Is that going to benefit from this? Or is the market going to benefit from artificial intelligence for regulation?
Yeah, there's a super clear use case for artificial intelligence here. So if you've unlocked the regulatory information, you've coded it and you've made it available much more like a data model or pieces of data, then the artificial intelligence that runs and understands that content that's on that website, for example, is much more accurate in what it returns back. So what you get is a much more beneficial, much more functional tool that the AI can support the user in understanding those rules and regulations.
So while AI can improve outcomes in compliance with regulation, the AI needs to be able to understand the regulation unambiguously for it to be able to do that.
That's right. It removes that ambiguity. Yeah, that's the idea.
And this all points back to the same message that we need regulators to unlock regulation in order for all of this to happen.
Yep. This is the benefit on both sides. So the regulators and the firms are after the same thing, which is compliance throughout the industry. And this is one way to make that happen.